So we just left a very bizarre city commission meeting. The topic was the city transferring ownership of Tallahassee Memorial Hospital to the state via Florida State University. It was a weird meeting. The mood was very somber and solemn. You would think an agreement like this people would be excited about, but instead we had doctors and members from both Florida State and TMH reading prepared statements. It looked a lot more like something you see in a hostage video than you would see in a PR pitch for a new partnership. So that was concerning a little bit, just the way it was rolled out. President McCullough and CEO Mark O'Brien of TMH gave us an update on the MOU that they've hatched to move forward with a partnership. But neither entity owns the hospital. The city, the people own the hospital, and we know it's worth over $1 billion. And it's important that we protect the public asset and the public trust and ownership of this property. So if there was going to be a transfer or a sale, we made the case that it needs to be for full market value to the people of Tallahassee. We can do tremendous work with $1 billion in our community towards affordable housing, access to health care for our most vulnerable citizens, or investing in our neighborhoods where infrastructure is falling apart. So I think that was central to the conversation. But what really was interesting is the more we asked questions, the more we inquired about what we were going to get, it seemed like we are really being sold, in some ways, a bag of goods. We were told that this new hospital agreement, it would stop people from having to go to Jacksonville or Shands or Miami for some specialized treatment. And for maybe a few things, they mentioned things that were liver related, GI, and those sorts of things. That could be true in the long term, 20 years from now, possibly. But a lot of the major things that we seek outside care for, lung transplants and these sorts of things, they're not coming to Tallahassee. People will still have to travel to get those types of things. And I think, that really stuck out to me. But really how we got to this idea that Tallahassee Memorial Hospital and FSU have this unanimous agreement of what they wanted to do. And this is where things got really interesting. TMH and Florida State have had a long-standing partnership to bring academic medicine to our community and work together on a hospital in Panama City. The state has actually pledged $400 million for FSU to acquire the hospital in Panama City and work with TMH on it. We learned during the meeting that TMH had already invested a lot of money in building that hospital. And then when the conversation of the hostile takeover started a few months ago, FSU hit a pause on Panama City. They weren't moving forward unless a deal was reached to deliver the city-owned hospital to Florida State. So inquiring from President McCullough, board chair Sally Bradshaw, it became clear that this whole agreement that we were supposed to be celebrating today was happening under duress. The agreement, if FSU backed out of Panama City, that would be detrimental to TMH and the partnership, and they were using that as a bargaining chip to push for a deal. It seemed this board split that really, in the long term, could see a state takeover completely of the hospital. When I'm not there, when President McCullough's not there, CEO O'Brien aren't there anymore, we know how state government operates. It only takes one governor that wants to exert influence over a university to really take control of our whole hospital. That's concerning with the governor we have now. We've seen what's happened in New College. We see what happened in the UF presidential search. And we see the Surgeon General, frankly, backing away from advocating for vaccines for our children. Super concerning things in medicine. So super important that we continue to protect the public asset and public medicine in our community. So while it was meant to be packaged as this great deal was reached, that's the farthest thing from the truth. This was kind of forced through, the steamroller's rolling, and it's really going to be up to the people to stand up and have their voices heard to see if they want it. We've heard from faith leaders, community leaders, folks at other universities that would like a larger seat at the table. They feel like it's moving too fast. They feel like we need to get fair value for it. Some folks want to include FAMU. Other folks want to see, can we just put it out there for any hospital to see? Like, what would it look like if FAMU wanted to own the property? And what kind of deal could we make with FAMU? What would it look like if Mayo wanted to come to Tallahassee? You know, a group with a tremendous track record in medicine. All these things need to be on the table for the conversation. It was clear that a select few were behind the scenes trying to negotiate. I mean, the city manager was negotiating directly with Florida State University over the price of the hospital. And there's never been a city vote by the city commission to move forward with any type of sale. So it was clear that the city was pushing this conversation behind the scenes, trying to negotiate without any direction from the elected body. That's wrong, that's inappropriate, and it's against city commission policies. I think that needs to be made clear. And where we go from here, we need to have an open, honest conversation. If we want there to be a new board structure with Florida State that operates this hospital going forward, we need supermajority local control. We need the city commission to continue to approve the board members, and we need to make sure we're protected. We have checks and balances from a state takeover. If those assurances can be reached, if we can get fair market funding for the hospital, I think there is a potential that we can move forward with this. But right now, I mean, the hospital's not for sale, and we got to stand firm. So if you have an opinion, you know, now's the time. This is moving very quickly, way too quickly for most people. It's going to come back October 22nd. Let your city commissioners know, or come out to the meeting and have your voices heard. Thanks.